You all know Representative Jamie Boles. So once again, I think we can just introduce him and say, here's Jamie.
Thank you, thank you. And I wish you would refer to me as just Jamie, because when I go to Raleigh, those people, like every other politician, have ego problems. When they go there, they go by their titles. And I always remind them I've never buried anybody with a title. So we're all the same. I thank you for this opportunity for speaking to you today. I also want to thank you for the support that you have given me for the past year. And I hope that you'll pray for me and all of our other local legislators for the upcoming year as well. I'm not here to tell you how bad everything is. We all know we need changes. What I am here to tell you is that finally, I hope and I think somebody is listening. The governor hasn't been listening to you. The president hasn't been listening to you with their social agendas. The governor raising taxes this year in the state of a recession, still pushing their agenda through. The president with his agenda, and it was kind of interesting to hear the president in Ohio stated that he was fighting for you. And I don't know about you, but you see all of our leaders have missed it. They should be not fighting against you. They should be fighting with you to change the policies, because I don't know who they're fighting except themselves. And you know, you are the people that they have to represent. And I guess that's my biggest thing yesterday when he said, I'm fighting for you. And I just like for him, for right now, our governor and our president to fight with us to change this corruption that we have in Washington and in Raleigh. I was also listening, I don't know about you all, I'm getting hot up here. I was also listening the other day to Fox News where the lieutenant governor of Massachusetts said that the Tea Party was kind of a nuisance up there. That they were influencing a lot of the voters. You know, and I thought, you know, why shouldn't North Carolinians, Tea Parties, why should North Carolinians or South Carolinians or Kentucky go to Massachusetts and rally? Because Senator Brown now, when he votes for you. And he doesn't represent just Massachusetts, and when he votes, this is only going to affect Massachusetts. He affects everybody. And once we realize this, that when I vote in Raleigh, I don't vote and it's just going to apply to Moore County. It applies to the state of North Carolina. So folks, we've got to get involved, and you have got to get involved. And it starts with your local level. It starts with the school board systems. It starts with the city council. It starts with the county. It starts with the planning board. And if you're not happy with what's going on, you have got to get involved. These are a lot of new faces I have seen. And I'm not saying that it's good to see the old faces, but it is. But it's also good to see new faces. And folks, this is not a Democratic race. This is not a Republican race. It's not an independence race. It's a people's race. This is our country. This is our government. And when we realize that, and that we're going to get involved, and we want a return on our investment, and we want to see what the return is going to be, and the government, we should be accountable and should give you the investment. I think it's great that you're here. I thank you for the opportunity. I will tell you that when you do come to Raleigh, we look out our windows, and there's the Federal Mall, and we said, oh gosh, here they come. We have got to explain ourselves how we vote. And I don't know about you all, but you don't know the little secret stairwells in the legislative buildings, so we don't have to get on the elevators with everybody. But I'm telling you, legislators cannot hide anymore. And it's people like you, if you're up there, they're scared to death. I can only speak about North Carolina. I can't speak about the federal government. Lord, I told somebody, they said, well, what you going to do about Washington? What you going to do about health care? Excuse my language. I said, hell, I'm just trying to save Raleigh. You know, I can't take on Washington right now. We need to pray for Senator Burr, and we really need to pray for Senator Hagan. Because she needs to return some of your phone calls, and she needs to answer you. Because she doesn't answer to anybody. But I will tell you, in Raleigh, we've got to start locally. There's a lot of corruption in Raleigh, and the Democrats have held the State House since 98, and that's 1898. 1898. So, folks, we've got some work. There are good Democrats. They really are. And unfortunately, there's a couple of them, they're already defecting. If you notice that there's 6 senators that are not going to run next year, they can't stand behind their governor. They cannot stand behind her and her policies. And they know the direction is changing, and they'd much rather retire than have a defeat. So it is up to us, not as Democrats, not as Republicans, but as North Carolinians, to take control and vote good people up there. And I'm not saying I'm good. I'm average. But I will tell you, I do study. A lot of you may not like the way we vote, and a lot of times you don't know what the real issues are because they're done behind closed doors. There are several issues that we voted on as far as the Republican, and all the deals were cut behind closed doors. This North Carolina needs to be transparent. They need to be open. I have a list here. Let me see. They have closed meetings. There's no transparency. And they're on a social agenda as well, as our president is. And now is the time that we have got to get behind everybody and stop this agenda. Talking about the health care, a statistic, I think 12% of the citizens that are not insured. So we're supposed to change 80% of Americans just because this president has a personal social agenda. We're supposed to change our lifestyle with the best medical system we have in the universe. Now, if socialization medicine is so well and he needs to change, I think he needs to go back up to Canada. And if you let the government involved, get involved in health care, ask a veteran what they have done to the veterans. They're the most, I had to say it politely, disgraced citizens of this country. They should be given premium health care, should be given the best of care in our government. We get calls because, and I'll tell you this one call. I got a call from a wife that her husband tried to get to the VA in Fayetteville, and he couldn't get in. And so she called me, and I said, well, you know, I'm just a little state official. I said, you know, Representative Coble, who you need to talk to, or Senator Burr. And she said, well, they're doing their things too. So I said, well, just let me call over to Fayetteville and talk to the VA. So I got on the phone, I talked to the guy, and the man said, thank God an elected official called. And I said, what do you mean? He said, well, our superiors had just been putting it off until we really needed an elected official to call so that we can push it through. And the man needs help.